Hey, I'm Ethan. I'm a product designer by day and a solo game dev by night. This is Keeper Ledget, a tower defense and RPG hybrid that I've been building for a couple of years. You might ask what that is. I'll be explaining that further down in the video. I want to share why it took me 17 years to get here and how my failed attempts, childhood dreams, and obsession with games shaped this project. I still have a lot to do and decisions to make, and I find having a community and getting early feedback is really important. I'd love it if I got your feedback and cool ideas that may end up in the game, so let's rewind from the literal beginning. So I had a lot of big ideas: multiplayer survival games, MOBAs, puzzle games, tycoon games, and adventure games. I had a long list of game ideas and sketches of early art for them. But I had to choose something realistically small where I could tackle alone. Before all these games I talked about, before everything, there was Adventures of Legett, the first game I ever tried to make with a friend. Legett was a dwarf defending a castle from waves of enemies, inspired by a character I made up when I was 8, after watching the Fellowship of the Ring. My friend was programming and I was creating very bad pixel art and doing the game design. We worked on the game for a couple of months and school got in the way and it was scrapped and forgotten. That is until now. 17 years after dreaming of making a game, I returned to Legett, my first serious game project alone. When I first imagined this game over 12 years ago, the App Store barely had any real top-down RPGs where you could directly control your character like the games we had in Game Boys. So that was the feeling I had in mind. I loved Warcraft 3 maps like X-Hero Siege where you had to defend your castle with your hero. I also loved tower defense games and my goal was to blend the two. So my goal was simple. I wanted to create a pixel art, top-down adventure where you control a hero defending a castle against endless waves of enemies. The castle wouldn't just sit there, you'd strengthen it by building towers. The gameplay had to feel clean and focused. Just a joystick to control your hero through the battle. No cluttered UI to build the towers, it had to be simple. Your hero would have different weapons to attack enemies and unleash special abilities whenever they're off cooldown. And finally, I wanted to be vertical, not just for convenience but to capture that nostalgic Game Boy feel. And I actually did it. First version was fun to play, but playing one endless map over and over again quickly got boring. There was no real sense of progression, so I added new maps and difficulty scaling, each one with unique enemies. Of course, as enemies got tougher, your weapons had to keep up. Originally, weapons had static stats and would drop randomly during battles from enemies. This was annoying because every now and then you would pick a shitty weapon accidentally, so I had to change it. Now you can choose your loadout before entering battle and upgrade your weapons before battle. Later I did the same thing for towers. Now you can upgrade your towers outside of battle too, as well as from the battleground. Both weapons and towers have two upgrade types. Small, cheap upgrades that level them up gradually, and bigger tier upgrades where you collect enough cards to evolve them into more powerful versions. While I was building all this, Vampire Survivors came out. And suddenly everyone I knew was obsessed. And I'll admit so was I. It was ridiculous, chaotic, insanely addictive and fun. Before long, dozens of clones flooded the app stores. And even though it wasn't what I originally planned, I couldn't resist. So I added the auto-skill mechanic from Vampire Survivors and added to my game. But that decision created a new problem. The auto-skills made the hero become too powerful. Originally, the strategy was to focus on your castle and towers. But towers started to feel secondary and almost unnecessary. To fix that, I split the game into 3 distinct modes and map types. Survival mode, just your hero trying to stay alive. Tower defense mode, your hero fights, but you can also build towers to help you survive. Castle defense mode, protect your castle, build towers, fight waves of enemies both with your hero and your towers. While doing all this, I realized something. The castle defense mode felt too complex for a mobile game and a small screen. So for the first version, I decided to temporarily remove those maps. And suddenly, my game started to feel like a Vampire Survivors clone itself. Now, I'm kinda stuck. I've invested so much time into this project, I have to release it no matter what. What do you think? Is castle defense mode too complex for mobile? Should I keep it or go all in on that mode for PC? I want to make both tower defense and castle defense modes feel fun and worth playing. And your feedback would really help. You can try the beta version on Android and iOS. The links are in the description. I'm planning to launch with 50 plus levels, new enemies and fresh pixel art, and I'll be posting devlogs along the way. Even if you don't play, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment or join the Discord. If you want to follow the journey, hit like and subscribe. Legett is just the beginning. I've got tons more game ideas coming, so more is on the way. Later.